here tonight before you to speak at a gathering to honor Mary Harris, Mother Jones. This is an incredibly proud thing for me. It's a long way for a bag boy from Kroger to come. And the labor movement does that for us, and it's done it for me. But I got to state to you tonight at the beginning that I'm not here tonight as, by the way, Tim, an executive vice president of the UFCW. You know, I can give up the title, son, but don't cut my pay. But I'm here as a trade unionist, and I'm here as a union organizer because, you know, the members of our union and our president, we have all these departments and we have all these titles and all, but this is like Tim and I were talking about the military, and I was in the military, and, you know, every Marine's a rifleman. And in this labor movement, every union representative better be an organizer, and that's what I'm here to talk about as union organizer. And I'd like to talk to you the way that Mother would if she was here tonight, and it's a little hard for me to do that and keep that bureaucratic title intact. So saying this, I have to tell you that I really wonder, and I have to imagine that if she was here and present tonight, what she would say and what she might think of our labor movement. I don't say this to disparage it, because I'm very proud of it. I think that coming from where she came from and as removed as we are from her own anguished history and the struggles and the precious few victories which came to her in the labor movement of her day, how she would see us. And I'm absolutely certain that we could paint her a picture of our labor movement. And it would be something grander and more powerful and larger than she ever imagined. I think she might even gasp at first. We tell her about the over 14 million workers in this giant national and international federation of hundreds of local unions, of councils, large parent organizations like the one I belong to, many with paid staff, buildings, vehicles, property, financial resources beyond the wildest dream of the labor movement of her day. And it might sound impressive at first, but I bet you after first blush, I bet you after she cried out in amazement and wonder at our collective success, that she'd begin to question us. You know, initially her own struggles might seem pale by comparison. And if anyone would think that, they'd be wrong. And we're wrong to think that we've done more with what's been given us than what they gave us to start with. And I'll tell you something. If she caught her breath and she began to look around, we'd have a lot to answer for. This labor movement is in a position today to either make history or be history. And she would tell us, don't let it happen. We have to participate and act and lead in the way that she did. That's how you make labor history, by doing things, not by talking like I'm doing tonight. People like you, people like are here tonight, a base of activists who take it on and get it done. That's what she would want to see. That's what's here, and that's what we have to become, and there has to be more of us. The future of this movement is an effective agent for working people, to bring people to the middle class and keep them there, whether it's in the shop floor, how we do things on the shop floor, or how we do things at the ballot box, is in our hands. And the opportunity is slipping away. I was so glad to hear Ann Feeney mention John Ashcroft. I'm a military veteran. I'm a proud American. But I'm damn afraid tonight of what we're letting get away. And as activists and as organizers and as people who care what happens in this country, we better be wary. It's painful for me also to know that the gains that this labor movement has fought for are slipping away. You know, just 30 years ago, around 1970, General Motors had a heavily unionized workforce, and it was our nation's largest employer. It was something that all the other employers looked to, and it set the pace. It really drove the wage train and benefits of this country. General Motors could boast the best wages in manufacturing. The UAW contracts included not only the wages, but great medical benefits, and also for the retirees. And pensions, great pensions that people could live on. And General Motors was a job that everybody in the country wanted. Today, and much differently, Walmart drives the labor's workforce as the largest employer in this country and indeed in the world. In the United States, Walmart workers on average earn, $8.50. $8.50. $17 in 1970 when a unionized workforce drove the wage train in this country, $8.50 today when non-union Walmart does. That's a shame, and Mother would raise hell about it. Walmart has built a global empire in this country in exactly the same way. that the robber barons and the coal operators of her days built theirs. Walmart is successful because they worship the bottom line. They pray at the altar of greed, and they have no loyalty beyond the mighty dollar. Walmart hurts everyone, and they wear a yellow smiley face while they're doing it. Walmart recorded over $197 billion in annual sales last year. 197 with a B. Billion. More than General Motors, more than IBM. Second only to Exxon and Mobil, and it took two big oil companies to merge to top them. The nickel and dime store that Sam Walton started with today is the largest and most successful employer in the world, and it comes at great cost. That cost comes to communities. Build a Walmart in your neighborhood and watch mom and pop go out of business. Small businesses die. Walmart targets them. Walmart is a predator. The day that they target your hardware store, your shoe shop, your local bank, whatever, they are on their way gone. And you know what happens when they're gone? All that money that was spent there, that recirculated in the community, goes to Bentonville, Arkansas, where Walmart's headquartered. And from there, it goes outside this country, because Walmart is a worldwide global empire, and I'm going to tell you about that. So you don't want them here. You don't need a Walmart. You know, support your local businesses. That's who's building your tax base. The union supermarkets that were already in your towns, that have been here for years, that have invested in this community, pay taxes for your schools. They pay taxes for your police and fire department and your teachers. Walmart gets an abatement and sucks every dollar out of the community it can and takes it somewhere else. And we line up and go in there because they sell us cheap underwear and think we're getting a good deal, and people, it's got to stop. Manufacturers and vendors, the most powerful ones in this country. I heard someone talk about Heinz, Procter & Gamble. Every large manufacturer in this country, the happiest day for their people is in their sales department is the day they get a Walmart contract. The saddest day is when they have to meet it. Walmart leverages every cost to the bottom line, and the bottom line for us always comes off the backs of workers. Walmart is the best manipulator of price in this country, and when those jobs suffer, more jobs suffer. Walmart hurts communities, even hurts big businesses, and we've got to stop them. And I'm going to talk to you about how you stop them. You know, this is not a great place to work. How many, you see a Walmart commercial, and you see all these people smiling, and they tell you how wonderful it is, and they tell you they're a value, and you never even see a price. How many people have ever seen Walmart actually advertise a price? None of their commercials show one. Now, if you can believe that they're the cheapest because they never told you they were, how can anybody believe they're the best employer because they told you they were? They're not. 500,000 people a year quit Walmart. 500,000 come to work and leave, and that's their figures. That's because they can't live on the pay. There are no benefits. If you can afford the benefits, you're probably in management. The profit sharing doesn't pay. The hourly people don't get it, and the hourly people can't afford stock, and so they leave. So the great Walmart that your community fought to get, that put all your small businesses on the ropes, that cut the tax base in your community, that cuts your services and all, comes at a great price. And it doesn't have to. You can tell them no, or you can do what I'm going to suggest here in a few minutes. And all this happens because Walmart's where America shops. I stood before John Sweeney and the entire AFL-CIO executive committee, and I said this, and people looked at me like they were crazy. I said, John, Walmart is where America shops. Walmart is where the labor movement shops. Walmart is where people in my own union shop, and it's got to stop. We did a survey. How many people here have the AFL-CIO credit card? It's good. A lot of our members have it. We did a survey of that credit card. We did a particular month in a particular year, and 30% of the charges in that month of those union family households' credit cards had been at Walmart. The same employer that crushed the competition in the community and that is driving the wages and benefits, tax bases, and community after community in this country to the bottom. We swap cheap underwear for good unions. And people, it's wrong. Walmart today, Walmart today is the largest retailer in the United States. They're the largest retailer in Canada. They're the largest retailer in Mexico. They're the second largest supermarket chain in the UK. They're in Germany. They're all through South America. They have 9 super centers in China. They have 900 manufacturing facilities in China. Think about that, 9 stores, 900 manufacturing facilities. Something there is out, something about trade is out. We want to go there so they can buy our goods, but we're the biggest and we only need 9 stores. There's something wrong with the way Walmart, this red, white, and blue, bring it home to America company does business. It's a race to the bottom that we have to resist. And there's no better example. China, with billions of people, only needs 9 stores. They must be shipping a hell of a lot more over here than they're buying from Walmart. And we got to stop them. It's killing America. When I first took this job, when I first came in and took over this department, people all over the country said, Mike, what we need is a boycott. And I know there's been some good boycotts, but there haven't been many in my time. And they might have worked in Mother's Day. But today, Walmart has over 4,000 U.S. stores. And they have not just Walmarts, but they have the Walmart Supercenters, they have the Sam's Clubs, and they have these new neighborhood markets. And it's very difficult to run a boycott, and it's pretty difficult to keep people out of these stores because in a lot of cases, they don't have anywhere else to go. So I got looking at it and I said, well, what are we going to do? We can't even keep union dollars out of these stores. What are we going to do? And I thought, well, let's have a rebellion. I think Mother would like that. And that's what we're going to do. Let me tell you tonight what the UFCW is doing, and this is what I think the labor movement needs to be doing. We've got a new idea on the UFCW. We're going to organize Walmart. We're not going to stand out in front of their stores anymore and tell you they're a bunch of bad guys. We're going to go talk to their workers and take them away from them. That's what labor unions are supposed to do anyway. That's organizing Mother Jones style. It's the best way to stop them is take their people away from them and make it. You want to see Walmart's growth slow down? Make them pay a decent wage. Make them pay for health care for all those people who work there. Make them have a defined benefit program for the retirees, and that growth will stop, and these communities will quit hemorrhaging. And so that's what we're going to do, and it's a daunting task. We have to do it. Walmart drives the low-wage and retail sector of America, and the only way that we can bring that up is to go into those stores and put them under contract. Now, what I learned is that if you have a Walmart in your community, any union in that community is bargaining against Walmart. If Walmart is setting the wage floor in your community, whether you realize it or not, whether you're AFSCME or CWA or the building trades, whoever you are, that's who you're bargaining against, because that who is really driving the service sector economy of your town. So it's in all your interest to help us. And I want to talk tonight about how you can help us. For years, when people were talking about a boycott, we talked about staying out of the store. I don't want you to do that anymore. I know there's people in this room tonight who've never been to a Walmart store. I want you all to go, particularly you all. I want you to go in the stores with your heads held. I don't want you to buy anything, but I want you to go into the store. I don't want to keep the union out of Walmart anymore. Don't want to keep the union out anymore, although they've gone to great efforts to keep the union out. We did a nationwide blitz of their stores, and they wanted the union out of their stores so bad that they went to a judge in Bentonville, friendly judge. How friendly was he, Your Honor? $400,000 worth of stock. That's how friendly he was. They went to this judge ex parte, meaning we weren't there, and they got a nationwide injunction against us, prohibiting us from going in the stores. No international representative of UFCW could go in the store. So, and now they're back trying to do it again. So I'm going to tell you, they may keep us out, but I'm going to ask you to go in. And I'm going to ask you to go in there the way Mother Jones was, walking, talking, and raising hell, and telling those people in those stores, there's nothing to be afraid of. You've got a right to fight, and we're going to be there for you. You know, Walmart's image is phony. Walmart's image is phony. They put all this stuff on TV, they wave that flag, but I want to tell you something. In Las Vegas, on September 12th, the day after the attack on America, union organizers from my department went into a store in Las Vegas, and they passed out little American flags, stickers. And these little American flags didn't say anything about my union. And the company that had sold 200,000 flags in 2 days made those workers remove those stickers because the union gave them to you. That's the real Walmart. And I want you to go in there and challenge them for it. What kind of a company are they, that won't let American workers wear American flags? What kind of a company plays Lee Greenwood's proud to be American and won't let people vote and won't let them engage in their rights to organize? Walmart tramples the labor laws of this country. They've made a shambles of workers' rights. The past 2 weeks alone, the National Labor Relations Board has issued a half dozen unfair labor practice charges against this company and named top management, not store managers, top management as being involved in breaking the law of the land. Walmart ignores the law of the land that gives workers the right to organize. And the only way to enforce it today is not through the government, it's not through the courts, it's through you. I need you to go in the store and tell them, you break the law here and I'm coming back. When I come back, I'm bringing my brothers and sisters and we're hauling our dollars out of your stores, and you're not going to get another one until these people get a right to vote in a fair and free and uncoerced election. Time to raise hell at Walmart. And look, I know there's a lot more organizing that needs to be done. And I just wanted to get my plug in for Walmart. I'm trying to do it fast because I'm hoping Annie Feeney will sing again. But I want to talk about some organizing in general. I've been doing this work for 30 years. I'm a second-generation union organizer. And I think it's some of the greatest work there is. And I've learned some things. And I want to leave some of these things with you to kind of think about, because I know there's all organizers in this room. I have heard my entire union career about labor law reform. Quit talking about it. It ain't going to happen. The labor law reform that this labor movement, representing 14 million or 15 million people, the labor law reform that we would get today is the labor law reform we don't want. It's the labor law reform that the politicians would give us. We'll get labor law reform when the bosses want it, because they're hurting. And that's the labor law reform that I want so that workers can organize. I want the kind of labor law reform that comes because we are out there in such big numbers and doing so much organizing that they want to level the playing field instead of us. Yeah. That has to happen. For that to happen, we got to talk less about organizing. I was told a long time ago that an organizer has 2 ears, and I got big ones, that an organizer has 2 ears and 1 mouth for a good reason. And that's because we're supposed to listen twice as much as we talk. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do with the Walmart workers and workers anywhere. People want to talk to this union, to your union, to any union, but they shouldn't have to find us in the yellow pages. Go out there and find them, talk to them. We have to stop organizing just hot shops. Everybody know what a hot shop is? That's the lame duck that's about to go out of business that the people finally came to you and asked you to sign them up so you can negotiate the closing agreement. Those are fine, but we have to organize our base industry. If you're in construction, stay in construction and get busy. If you're in retail, stay the hell in retail and get busy. There's 85% of the workforce out there unorganized, and guess what, people? Most of those people have never been talked to by anybody, so let's not be fighting over jurisdiction. I've yet to be in a jurisdictional fight. I have yet to be in a jurisdictional fight over a Walmart store. I'm waiting for my first one. I can't wait. The other thing, and this is serious for the union folks, I know we have other kind of folks here. A union has to dedicate substantial, not some resources to organizing. Your financial and your human resources have to be equal to the problem. Now, if we represent about 15% of the labor force, and we're only putting about 10% of our local union or international union's resources into organizing, how in the hell are we ever going to do better? It ain't going to happen, people. There's local union leaders in this room tonight. You got to struggle with that. Money's hard to come by, but I'm going to tell you something. If you aren't strong enough in your own industry to get the contracts your members want, Your problem won't be dollars. Your problem will be votes on election day. And the best way to stay elected is to go out and organize the unorganized. That's the threat to your membership. Make the financial commitment to organizing, and it's the best security you can have for your union, and I beg you to do it. Most unions see organizing as a legal process. It's not. It's an illegal process. It's this thing that's been bastardized, excuse me, but that's the term I have to use. It's been manipulated so that it favors the employers. If we're going to organize, we have to change the process. We probably don't need the law anymore. If I've got the workers, I don't need the law. So we have to open up our minds. Make the boss want the NLRB to get involved. Ask workers to do things, tell them the truth, be there for them when they do it, make a commitment to stay, and you won't need the NLRB. You'll be surprised. 90% of the organizing in the United Food and Commercial Workers happens without an NLRB election. And we want it to be 100%, and that's what I want for you, and that's what you have to start thinking about doing. We give way too much credit to union busters. I don't know how much time I have left, but I hope I never go to another union function where somebody gets up and says we can't do the job anymore because of Ronald Reagan and the union busters. I hope to never hear that again. Guess what? They ain't that good. We're just that lazy. Yeah. People, this is just a few of the realities I've found in 30 years, and I wanted to pass them on. I didn't want to stand before this group tonight and not tell you what I see that I think this movement needs. If we're going to build this movement, we have to go beyond the law. We have to go beyond the labor board. We have to go beyond our individual unions. We have to go beyond this thing called jurisdiction. We have to change these realities. We have to say that union membership is a civil right and a human right, and then we have to fight for it. We have become a visible, a loud, and a defiant movement. The last great union movement, the last great union event that I can remember was Solidarity Day. It's almost 20 years ago. How do we impress anybody when we haven't got together and raised hell for almost 20 years? How do we attract anybody when we don't participate in each other's strikes and when we're not there for each other? I live in Washington, D.C. part of the time. Louis Farrakhan, who I almost don't agree with on anything, proved to me that you can get people together to associate and talk about what's important to them, not because you're a leader, but because you have a message that they want to hear and that they want to talk about. He brought 1 million people to Washington, D.C. on a weekday, meaning that most of those people had to take off from work, and we're afraid to call a Solidarity Day because we don't think we can get that many on a 3-day weekend. And people, that's got to change. We got to start turning out for each other. Lastly, I tell you that I'm very opposed to this notion that we can polish up our image enough if we just do enough Madison Avenue commercials and we get the right PR firm together that we can put ourselves on television and we'll do organizing like we've never done it before. I think there was a whole group, a whole think tank in the AFL-CIO that wanted to work on our image. I think that we don't need to do that. I think our image has to get louder and a little bolder. And we don't need Madison Avenue. We need Main Street. And we have to get out there in it. And righteous indignation and rage and anger and the willingness to punish the boss. That's the things that will bring the unorganized to this union movement and not commercial. So I've said my piece. You know, that's the great thing about my union. I say it, and I say it to you I say it in a constructive way, and I say it to brothers and sisters because we keep this kind of talk among ourselves. That's where I think our labor movement has to go. I know where it's been, and I know where Mother Jones, if she were here tonight, would want to see it going. And I believe in my heart that's the direction she'd want to see. She'd want to see an invigorated, vigilant, modern-day labor movement. I read her book, one of her books, before I came here tonight, because I wanted to have a feel for, again, remind myself of that time and of her history. So I read Elliot J. Gorn's book again before I came here, Mother Jones, the Most Dangerous Woman in America. I saw it for sale over here on one of the tables. And towards almost at the end of it, I read something that I want to revisit with you. Some of you may be more familiar with it, but a paragraph towards the end says that after Mother Jones's death on November 30th, 1930, at Mount Olive's Ascension Church, that Father John McGuire, a veteran of the 1919 Steel Strike and president of St. Viator's College in Bourbonnais, Illinois, delivered a eulogy. That eulogy was heard by hundreds present and by thousands more over WCFL, what was then the radio station of the Chicago Federation of Labor. McGuire declared, and I want to quote for you, this is what was said: "Today, in gorgeous mahogany furnished and carefully guarded offices in distant capitals, wealthy mine owners and capitalists are breathing sighs of relief. But today, up on the plains of Illinois, the hillsides and valleys of Pennsylvania and West Virginia, in California and Colorado, British Columbia, strong men and toil-worn women are weeping tears of bitter grief. The reasons are the same. Mother Jones is dead." That legacy, that fire has to continue. That fear in the hearts of capitalists, the greedy and the powerful, has to be ignited again, and that rage in the hearts of union people like us has to run rampant again through this movement. This movement should be celebrated and never forgotten. And as a movement, we have an obligation to carry it on in the way that she did. We have an obligation to make history or become history. Mother Jones died, but her work hasn't ended. Hasn't ended at Walmart. It hasn't ended at Staley. It hasn't ended at all, and we have to carry it on, and we have to go on, and we have to make this movement better. And I want to thank you. Solidarity forever, and thank you.